Workfare, Tyler Service, Ottawa University, 2019. What is Workfare? Workfare is an alternative and controversial way of providing money to otherwise unemployed or underemployed people who are applying for social benefits. The term was first introduced by the civil rights leader James Charles Evers in 1968. However, it was popularized by Richard Nixon in a televised speech August 1969. With any program run by the government, there are always going to be pros and cons. The philosophy behind the Workfare is requiring the welfare recipients to work for their assistance. So a pro would be Workfare gives taxpayers something back for their money, be it in repaired potholes or a park cleaned of litter. Recipients' children learn the lesson of earning one's way by watching their parents head out each day to a job, which gives life some dignity and purpose. A con, of course, is it fattens the government bureaucracy, which must confirm that the recipients show up for work. It's expensive. You can't make poor people take jobs without subsidizing their childcare or their transportation. Workfare relies on a booming economy and provides jobs when times are tough, but government-funded jobs will be needed. As we continue the cons, Workfare programs are useless if there's no jobs to be had. Workfare can limit opportunities for recipients to find better jobs because they're forced to work government-sponsored jobs and are unable to search for other work. Low work standards can make work dangerous. Examples being when you have unskilled labor, that labor can cause accidents. There are many pros, though, to Workfare. Work breaks the dependency cycle. Workfare cuts down on the fraudulent welfare recipients by making them earn their benefits. It is an investment in the betterment of people and helps raise them out of poverty. Because the jobs are government-sponsored, they benefit society with road repairs, parks, and cleaner communities, etc., etc., etc. One of the locations that Workfare has been introduced is the state of Maine. Maine mandates work or training for food stamps. This has led to changes in the number of people receiving assistance. In December of 2014, Maine had 13,332 recipients on welfare. When Governor LePage mandated recipients work or take training to receive food stamps, the number of those seeking welfare dropped to only 2,678 by March of 2015. That's an 80% drop, saving the state millions in taxpayer money. In 2011, the unemployment rate in Maine was at 8%. After the Workfare implementation, the unemployment made a steady decline. As of 2019, unemployment in Maine is showing at 3%. This is a staggering drop, with the citizens either working for their benefits or training. They are bettering themselves while having steady work, building skills for future employment. The poverty rate numbers get tricky because according to the United States Census, the poverty rate in Maine is standing at 11.1%. The poverty rate actually increased from 8.6% to 11%, but some attribute this to people refusing to go into the Workfare program, whereas the median income has actually increased by $2,000 in that same time period. So the question is are these programs actually helping people towards self-sufficiency? If the statistics are correct, the Workfare program in Maine have put more people to work and raised them from poverty, saving taxpayers millions of dollars. Today, just 1,500 able-bodied childless adults rely on Maine's food stamps program. Those still relying on the program also need less assistance overall, as they are working more, with average benefits dropping 13% since the work requirements went into effect. As a result of these changes, taxpayers are now saving between $30 million and $40 million each year. That is a staggering amount of money. When people become self-sufficient, they gain a sense of self-worth. When self-worth is felt, they gain confidence. When confidence is achieved, a person is only hindered by their imagination and become an unstoppable force for good in the world. In my opinion and experience, the welfare programs of the United States hinder the progress of people who receive the benefits, not because they're incapable of work, but because there is no incentive to do so. In the beginning, I believe that the welfare programs were designed to help people with a hand up, not a hand out. Welfare reform programs like the Workfare program are a start in fixing the problem of the handout as we start people on the path to success with a hand up, as was originally intended. And as with any government program, the Workfare program is no different. It is far from perfect due to the costs that are associated with running another government program, but it is a start in the right direction and will always have those who will need assistance on welfare. But if we can focus our funds, again, as a help up, those who are lifted will in turn be in a position someday to lift others. There is a question of generational welfare, families who have been on welfare for at least 2 generations now. How can we break this generational cycle? Well, the fact is we may not be able to. As long as there's government programs, there will always be those who take advantage of them. For this reason, Workfare works. It gets those who suck off the government to at least give back something in return for the benefits that they receive. In conclusion, Workfare is one viable solution to a complicated issue. It will not fix all of the welfare woes, but it will help those who want to help themselves. As in Maine, there were a certain number of the population who refused to participate in the Workfare program. Their benefits were cut off. This is called tough love. It is not that we don't care about those people, but you can only help someone to a certain extent when they do not want to help themselves. More programs like Workfare will likely produce better results, better citizens, and less dependence. The government will always spend money on welfare programs. Workfare gives the government at least a small return on our investment. That's all, folks.